what's up? So over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the play action boot concept in terms of how the Packers have been finding answers for that. Based on most of those have been based on the backside concepts, backside routes they've been putting on that in case someone breaks through. This I want to show another twist that they were running against the Lions. Not really a twist, just kind of exchanging personnel where you're putting them, and how that also can provide answers. So something, since we saw it twice this past weekend, it is something we've been talking about that I wanted to bring up here. So here we go. And again, we'll just kind of, it's going to go to, so Watson is the slicer. I think that's going to be him there. Talk about this in a second, I guess. So it's going to be play action bootleg. It's going to go to Watson in the flat. So there he goes. Nice, easy completion. Goes for 11 yards on 1st and 10 early in the first quarter because Christian Watson's Christian Watson, and he is able to do stuff like that. So let's talk about this. I guess that's Watson there. He's going to kind of slice through over there. So play action bootleg, again, we don't need to relitigate this entire thing because I've walked through this 1,000 times. What this is going to be is you sell the wide zone runs, you kind of get the mesh point there, boot out there, and then you have kind of a sail concept over there. So usually that's a deep corner route from there, a deep crosser from this side, and then a flat route that attacks over there. Sometimes you'll have a guy crossing on the line. Right now it's going to be Christian Watson working as that slicer in the flat. So as I said, though, a lot of times the way teams have been defending this, one of the ways they've been doing it is keeping a man home on the boot side because if this is wide zone, the other option, what we had seen in the past was pursue that wide zone run down the line. So now you've got him out of position, and when you bootleg, bang, you're bootlegging right around him. You got free space to run. The quarterback has a ton of time, do whatever he wants out there, and then find the open guy. Well, defenses decide we don't want to do that. We'll sacrifice a little bit of integrity on the backside run stuff. We're going to keep our guy home, and we're kind of slow play it. And when we see that boot out, we're going to attack right here. So when the quarterback turns, right in his face. Like I said, we talked about this over the past couple of weeks in terms of Packers tagging backside routes onto this stuff. Now, it really wouldn't have worked here if it was as aggressively as this is played, but they'd been doing some backside, like a wheel route. You got a guy kind of attacking over here that if you're bootlegging all the way over there, doesn't really make sense. You're not ever going to hit that. But if you have to pull up on a half boot because of pressure from the outside, you can suddenly stick your feet in the dirt and you can do that. Another way to do that, again, we'll kind of see. So instead of a lot of times what the slicer is going to do, this guy underneath we'll refer to as a slicer. He's slicing under the line. This is kind of that in a run zone, a run play, whether that's inside zone, outside zone, whatever, this motion does work, and it works as a backside block. So it's a slice blocker there. He's taken out the backside so he can out pursue the run. So this is part of the run action as well. A lot of times what they would have here is a tight end. You have him either working from this side, where you kind of block down a release on kind of a slam route, or you get, because again, what you're trying to do here is you're trying to make this look like a run. And so that guy who's going to be blocking the backside, you typically want that to be a tight end. So you see Tyler Davis in that role. You see Tunney in that role. You'll see Mercedes Lewis in that role. Well, Christian Watson can do that. He's a big body. You don't want him doing that all the time. But this is a good way of something he could do on a run where you can block that backside. So it looks like it could still be a run. But then he is going to release. And what that gives you is it gives you a guy with speed out there as opposed to Tyler Davis. And Tyler Davis, perfectly fine player, but just not the same. So there's Rodgers. Go. He's turning. He's got a man in his face right there. And we've got linebacker here coming over the top. Again, that linebacker, now this is pretty key as far as the personnel because that linebacker there, if this is Tyler Davis, that linebacker kind of flowing over the top and getting him. Rodgers is going to be throwing this to the slicer. Again, right here. If that's Tyler Davis, he picks up what? 2 yards? 1 yard? No gain, because by the time he catches it, this guy's already closing. Now you're clearing out the rest of the defense because you got the route here, you got the sail concept over here, that deep corner, the crosser here, but the key matchup is right here. So Rodgers going to have a man in his face. I need to throw this. He's going to throw kind of an off-platform shot. He's going to throw it there, and Watson with his speed able to catch it right there. He's already got the angle. Again, it's not much, but he's got there. Where's Tyler Davis? Maybe there? Something like that. Or at the very least, the closing speed is different. He outruns the linebacker to the corner, gets a first down. And we'll look at this from the backside as well. So there's Watson slicing. This is going a little fast for some reason. Gets the corner, and he beats, again, we'll see. I mean, that's 44 right here. and just watch what he's able to do. And just picture if you can think of, I don't want to keep picking on Tyler Davis. Let's say Tunyon or Lewis or even DeGuara. Think of them, what they could do if 44 is there. There's Watson, puts his hand down. He gets the corner and he stays up. That guy, knocks him off balance, but does not pick up the tackle. So that's something you get with a guy like Watson there. So we're going to look at the same thing on this one. We'll run the whole play through. It's going to look very similar. This is going to be a toss fake as opposed to that. And Watson's going to be slicing into the field. And again, this is one where it's multiple answers. There you go. Watson there. We'll run this back. So you are going to have you've got a jet motion. You've got DeGuara jet motion. Then he's going to wheel up. So that gives you an answer there if you've got the time to pull up on a half boot. So that gives you an option there. The slicer is going to be Christian Watson coming into the line there because you're going to have, instead of the full wide zone, meet the running back at the place, you're going to have a fake toss. So Rodgers kind of go back, fake toss it. You got the backside block from Watson over here. Then he's going to come out as the slicer, sit in the flat there. So again, you've got a couple answers here. You've got DeGuara up the sideline, which that's picked up. Teams have been seeing that. You've got, now this is kind of a mess here because you got Lazard as a deep crosser. You've got Mercedes Lewis on the sail route, which he doesn't have great speed, but he typically can get up the field enough to create some space because you're trying to stretch the defense. So these three levels here, Lewis is not getting that. He's getting bodied. Something the Lions did quite a bit this past week. Getting hands on him. He's having a hard time getting a release. So he's going to kind of run into Lazard. This whole spacing here is just an absolute disaster. It's not going to end up mattering. A lot of times with play action boot stuff, you can hit the middle guy, that deep crosser from the other side. That's Lazard coming from this side. That's usually the common route that teams have been hitting. But with a guy in your face, you've already got guys in your face. Right here, he's not going to have time to hit that, but still. Just a mess right there. Just an absolute mess. But again, you've got Watson as a slicer. He's going to pull through. You got a guy in his face. So Rodgers is going to say, all right, man, I'm just going to fall back, throw over the defenders, throw to Watson, hits the field, makes a guy miss, steps out of bounds, picks up 15 yards. Look at this one more time and get out of here. So again, you're going to have a fake toss over here to Jones. You got DeGuara running the jet wheel from that side. Then you're going to have Watson fall underneath as your slicer to block the backside on a run action. And instead, just then kind of leak out. So there's Watson right here. Rodgers already starting to turn. You can see this guy closing on him. This guy's closing on him as well. You got two guys right there. But no one sticks with Watson. Watson's able to kind of split right in between. Rodgers has the patience, the ability to kind of wait. All right, I'm just going to sling this over the top, get that up to Watson. So again, this one's a little cleaner just because you've got a little space and Rodgers able to kind of fall back, get that up over the top. But that's a 15-yard gain where you've got two guys on you. Or again, if this is tight end, if that's the Tyler Davis, Tunyon, whoever on that slicer roll as opposed to Watson, you have free space. Maybe he doesn't get to that spot in time, so maybe Rodgers has to wait a beat longer. Maybe he's still able to get it out in time, but the gain isn't quite as big. So again, we kind of looked at it, and we saw it here with DeGuara kind of around that backside wheel. There's multiple ways that you can try to solve for this. It's not easy solutions for this stuff, but having a guy like Christian Watson, again, I don't think you want to do it all the time because you're not having him split zone, block the backside of those runs every single time. So you want to use that sparingly, but that is a way that if teams are kind of onto it, get a guy with speed as the slicer. That way when the quarterback turns and he's got a guy in his face, I can throw this to the guy in speed, and if he's got a linebacker on him, he can make something happen, and he can pick up as much yards as he can. So kind of a fun little look, something that we've been looking at over the past couple of weeks. I know I wrote about it last week on Packer Report. 2 weeks ago, I think we did a spot on it here as they were building in some more of those backside concepts. So kind of a fun little look at how they're attacking with this same concept and the way they're finding answers as teams kind of shut them down. So hope you enjoy this. I will talk to you next time.